This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, August 26th, 2014. I'm Tiffany Elias. Now today we have a special episode. Wayne Goldsmith sat down with Australian swim coach Ian Pope at the Pan Pacific Championships to discuss some racing, strategy, and technical swimming. Let's take a look at the interview now.
I'm here tonight with Australian swimming coach Ian Pope. Coach Pope, an absolute legend in Australian coaching, head coach of the Melbourne Vic Centre, coach of multiple Olympic champions, world record holders. Thought it might be great to get Coach Pope in tonight and talk to him about some of the things that we're seeing in the 2014 Pan Pacs. Welcome, Coach Pope.
Thank you, Wayne.
Mate, first of all, we can't ignore the conditions. Looking outside, they've had to deal with wind, with rain. The other night, I think the rain was coming in almost horizontally. They've had to deal with some horrible conditions. What does it take to prepare a swimmer to win in these sort of conditions?
Well, a common practice with many of the swimmers is to do a warm-up, and so the important thing is that they increase their body temperature and get a good feel for the water, but they need to retain that heat within the body. So I've noticed a number of swimmers have been quite clever in the way that they've prepared themselves. And some of the things I've noticed is a lot of swimmers wearing gloves, completely full jacket over the hood, and for most of them, the really competitive guys, they're just getting up in the blocks at the very last minute. So they're trying to retain the heat. So I think that's one strategy that I think's worked for a lot of swimmers here.
Because we sort of knew that these conditions, there was a possibility we were going to see these conditions arrive. What could you have done in training in the weeks, months leading up to it to have prepared swimmers to have to deal with it? Can you simulate these conditions at all in training?
Well, I think a swimmer has to be, in many aspects, have that opportunity to be thrown different obstacles that can occur in any competition. I mean, whether it be in Olympics or World Championships, Pan Pacs, there's always obstacles. Things don't always go your way. And I think a clear strategy for most athletes is just to stay calm and to deal with each situation. So I think in this situation, leading into this competition, it would have been good for a lot of coaches to sort of give them different exposures of where they might be out of sync. A common practice I heard with Michael Phelps, his coach Bob Bowman, he used to actually get him to go the wrong way or be a bit late. And so those little strategies can sort of help them get up and just be prepared for all circumstances.
Yeah, it is interesting that we're seeing swimmers, in spite of the conditions, swim very, very fast. Ledecky going really well. Seabomb the other night as a backstroker, in spite of the wind and the rain, it probably couldn't have seen anything. Still under world record pace for most of the race, so they can still get up and do it. Now, Coach Pope, you're known as a great technical coach. You've got a great video series that sells very well in Australia.
Thanks for that little plug there.
Yeah, it was great. But what have you seen in terms of technique, or what have you seen in terms of what's happening technically around the pool? We've had the relatively recent change to the backstroke rule, so there's a real noticeable change there. The way the athletes are using new starting blocks, are you seeing some things that are really jumping out as a little different in the way the swimmers are attacking the technical aspects of the meet?
You tend to see that the greatest swimmers, the real champions, just have that little bit more finesse about their technique. You know, there's a smoothness, there's a feel that just, some are just gifted with that. But, you know, it's pretty noticeable that the two things that really stand out for me this week is the great efforts of being so relaxed. When I watched Kate Campbell swim that heat swim, and she went 52 mid, and she was just doing it like she was walking in the park, and then coming into the final going a little bit slower. And I've seen a number of swimmers, Anthony Irvine in the 100 free, certainly tensing up. And so the great performances have been the ones that have been able to stay relaxed, and I think that's important because we're working with water, and when you're working with water there's only so much pressure you can apply, and so I think it's really important that we stay relaxed in this environment. And the other thing that just continues to stand out is the better swimmers seem to travel further. They get that great connection and they just do less strokes. So that continual range of motion in their strokes, it seems to be common amongst the great swimmers.
And how do you go about coaching relaxation? If you've got a swimmer that can go fast, they've got their technique, their streamlining's good, turns look okay, but you're looking at a swimmer and you say, if I can only get them to relax, how do you coach relaxation? How do you coach a swimmer to relax at such high speed?
Well, that's the key goal, to race at a high speed relaxed. And for so many swimmers, they get that extra energy to want to go harder. But I think it's what we practice in training. It's like all things we do in a training environment. We need to practice those things for the arena itself. So the more we practice being relaxed. You know, one of the things I work a lot on is counting strokes and just always giving swimmers feedback about the way they're doing their technique within efforts or easy swimming. So, you know, many swimmers just practice a lot of easy swimming, and if you watch people like Kate Campbell, you'll see her just churning up and down real easy, nice good hole in the water, always counting her strokes. So yeah, the little things that can make a difference.
And look, we've talked a lot about swimmers, and you've got Matt Horton, one of our really talented distance swimmers from your club, being coached by Craig Jackson, who's your assistant coach, doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Now, we could talk about Mac as an athlete being prepared to swim well here, but what about coaching at this level? How do you go about helping Craig as one of your assistant coaches? What do you do to coach your coaches to get them ready to perform as coaches at this level of competition?
Sure. Well, you know, for someone like Matt Horton, he's a clear model of efficiency. When I look at his stroke count, you know, 28, 29 strokes in the 1500. And then compared to Grant Hackett, it was 31, 32. So he's very efficient, generally travelling about 3 metres per hour cycle. So very efficient, very relaxed swimmer. And you know, he's only just turned 18, so very promising young boy. In relation to getting a coach ready, you know, everything comes from experience, and I think, you know, for a coach to coach at this particular level, you know, you have to show confidence and be confident in what you're doing. And, you know, I think one of the things that's been an example for Craig is he's really come into this meet. We've exposed him to other competitions along the way that's got him ready for this sort of level of competition. So it comes with experience and the opportunities that we can create. And so one of the things that's common within Australian swimming now is getting the opportunity for these younger coaches coming through to be exposed to on the junior teams and junior Pan Pacs and other events. So when they come up to the big league, they're ready, hopefully.
Yeah. And with someone like Craig, do you provide feedback to him after the meet? So obviously Craig's going to be working with Mac and be talking about technique and pacing and the strategy that he employed the other night to win a medal in the 1500. But as a senior coach in the program, will you sit down with Craig and talk to him about the lessons he's learned as a coach and how he can improve as well?
Yeah, I mean, every day Craig and I are on pool deck morning and night, and we spend every day together. So we're always constantly talking about things that we can do better as coaches, and giving each other feedback of, you know, really noticing things that might be helping Mac along the way. So it might be something I'm observing about his technique, or something that he's been doing in training, or if he's fatigued, or yeah, it's part of working together as a coach for having a successful outcome in the future.
And so what about you, Coach Pope? What about your future in coaching? That if you look at some of the great athletes that you've coached, and Michael Klim, Grant Hackett, you've had some great athletes. What gets you excited about coaching? What gets you out of bed early and get you with the same level of enthusiasm that we've seen? Because when you talk around deck and your name comes up, there's always a smile from athletes and coaches that you've worked with, and it's usually around your enthusiasm and your passion and your drive. What's getting you excited about swimming now?
Well, I've been coaching for over 30 years and I still love it. I just love coming to the pool, you know, seeing young people that are motivated and that want to challenge themselves every day is motivating within yourself. So to come into a work environment and to see young people, and in a swimming club environment, you see people as young as 8 and 9 getting there at 5 o'clock in the morning and really committing, and it's wonderful to see young people challenge themselves. So I just love being a part of that.
Well, thanks very much for your time tonight, Coach Pope. We'd like to wrap up with something we call 5 swimmers in 5 words. So I'm going to throw the names of 5 swimmers at you. I want you to quickly respond with the first word that comes into your mind about each of those swimmers.
Okay.
Kate Campbell.
Magic.
Michael Phelps.
Beautiful person, Kate Campbell.
Beautiful person.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Phelps, the master, yeah.
Missy Franklin.
The backstroke queen, that's 2 words.
Katie Ledecky.
Tough, yeah, what, just tough, really good.
And finally, one of your swimmers, one of our greatest swimmers, Grant Hackett.
Very deliberate about what he wants, and when he can't do things on a daily basis, he'll absolutely give it to himself, so deliberate.
Deliberate. Coach Pope, thank you very much.
Thanks, Collie.
Thank you, Ian and Wayne. I think two very key points of that interview for fast swimming is to stay relaxed and learn how to travel further in the water with less strokes. Thank you for your insight. And thank you for watching the Morning Swim Show. I'm Tiffany Elias. We'll see you next time.